Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yes.
Hello, Mohit. How are you doing?
Hey, Mohit.
Hello, Mohit.
So I think we are all
everyone.
set. Hello, everyone. We are all set, man. So Gaurav, over to you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Naveed. So let's start on time for a change. Okay. Guys, so do we have many new people today? If you're joining for the first time, Shyam, I know that you are coming first time. Anyone else who has come for the first time, can they raise their hand or just put a hi there so that we get the idea that how many new people are there who are joining it for the first time?
Yeah,
Yeah, hi Gaurav, I'm joining for the first time. I know with Anmol this side. We met at Tech Ed Bangalore last year.
yeah, Anmol, I remember. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Hope you are
Good,
good
good.
also.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Good. Warm
Thank
welcome.
thank you so
Feel,
much.
feel free to
Uh,
introduce maybe whoever
yeah,
is joining first time. Yeah.
yeah.
Feel
This
free
is
to talk.
Subha here. I'm joining for the first time.
Uh,
Um,
Hi, this is Sandeep Sharma. I'm also joining for first time.
Warm welcome, man. Very nice.
So, guys, so while you are introducing, if you can tell that you are a technical guy, a
yeah,
functional guy, that would be great.
yeah. This is Subha here. So, I'm working on ABAP from past 15 years. So, ABAP on HANA development. So, and with the RESTful ABAP. So, these are the areas that we are working on, and there are a couple of things, like last decade, we are really amazed with, Nabit, presenting his views, and, we really have a big fan following for Nabit and everybody, all the experts here. Um, Especially a couple of things, I wanted to share, like, there were some concepts like, the message bus that, that they introduced in the last decade, so a lot of new things that have come up. So we would really, want to have those kind of things, working in our system.
Okay. Warm welcome, Subha.
Thank you, thank you.
And we have bigger stars, man. You have Mahesh. Mahesh is like a
Yes,
champ.
yes,
Yeah.
we'd like to.
Mohit is also like another Fury. These are Fury element guys. You have RPA expert, a web cloud expert. So everyone, including you, all of us are
Absolutely, really,
right.
yeah,
Man.
really,
This small community and let's learn and grow. Good. So
absolutely,
good.
really lucky to be part of this community and excited to contribute and also do some, very new
Yeah.
stuff which will help everybody, the developer community.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
So Gaurav.
Yeah. So, okay. Since we have many new guys, so we will have some introduction of the event. Okay. So our event is called SAP Stammtisch. That's how you pronounce it. Many people like they get confused pronouncing it. It's SAP Stammtisch India. So Stammtisch is a German word where people, that means that people get together to discuss on something. So we just taken that word because this is also one kind of official SAP community event name as well. So it's a SAP Stammtisch India, and why are we having this event here in India? Why are we having it specifically for India? We realize that we have a lot of SAP professionals in India, but we really don't have any common platform there. Okay, where we can collaborate, talk to each other, share, learn, or in general be aware of what is happening in the SAP market. Get to know each other. Okay, so the idea is to have such common platform for a big bunch of SAP professionals which are based out of India or anywhere for that matter. But that was the idea for which with which we started it. That let's have a community. Okay, that's the purpose of this event, and apart from that, I think you get to know lot many people who are expert in their area. I have already known so many people through this event in last few months that who are expert in their area and they know so much about their area that I get to learn a lot from them. So I think that's also a very good benefit of having a community and talking to each other. Okay, and when did we start it? We started it in December 2020. There are recordings from that month that are available. You can have a look at those recordings. And this is a 7th event. Okay, response has been great. Okay, and we are now really pumped up to have very good sessions and really have a good bunch of guys. Like right now, I can see so many experts in different areas, and I'm happy to see them joining today. That's great. And we have this event on every third Saturday of every month. So that's kind of we booked for us when it comes for the event. Okay. Mahesh is from the Yalsa event. They have their different slot booked for them. But yeah, this is something we have kept for us there. So the third Saturday of every month, we are going to have this event at 12 to 2 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Whenever we are able to finish it in time. Okay. Yeah. So this is about the introduction. Okay, so agenda for today, you already may have seen that we have two sessions lined up today. One is regarding the cloud application programming model, which will be taken up by Mahesh. Okay, so cloud application programming model is along with RAP is a recommended programming model to develop OData services whenever you are working on BTP. So I think this is one area which is of very much interest to a lot of SAP technical folks. Okay, so today we will have the typical use case of having a side-by-side extension of S4HANA system, and Mahesh is going to show us Mahesh will first give us the introduction of the CAP, and then he will show us a basic demo as well. I think which is great for people who are really not at the advanced level of CAP. It would be great for them to understand. Then we have Shyam. Shyam is really bringing something new to the table here. We as SAP professionals, we are not that much exposed to native mobile development. Okay, so Shyam is going to talk about enterprise mobile apps, different types of apps, and he's going to show us a demo as well. Okay, so I think we will have a lot of information to learn from Shyam because we really don't get that much exposure to mobile apps, to be frank there. Okay. Okay, so just to introduce the speaker for the first session. So first session will be related to the mobile development by Shyam. Shyam is based out of Singapore, and he started his career in Mumbai. He has 18 years of experience, and he worked in US, UK, and right now he's settled in Singapore. So based on his introduction and going through his career profile, I understand that Shyam is a typical techie who has been coding throughout his career. And when I asked him, what do you do for a living, he said that he code for a living and he just loves that. Okay, so I think we're going to have one exciting session from Shyam. Okay, so Mahesh is another guy. I will be introducing him before his session. He's a very exciting person to follow as well. But now over to you, Shyam, for your session. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Gaurav. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Okay. Let me just share my screen. Just give me a moment. Okay, so screen should show up. Let me know if you guys are able to see my screen as well as hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good afternoon, folks. And I don't know, I see a huge crowd. Definitely looks like a lot of folks joining from different places. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. A warm welcome to this session. My name is Shyam, and thanks, Gaurav, for the introduction. Yes, I do love to code, and this is going to be an exciting session. I hope so. So mobile applications, right? So when we Guys, don't mind if you guys can go on mute in case you're not speaking, and maybe just raise your hand just so that there'll be no background noise. Appreciate that. Yeah, thanks. So we talk about mobile applications a lot, and then the next phase is enterprise mobile applications. So I will give you a quick overview as to what are we going to see in enterprise mobile applications and where exactly do ABAP developers fit in, because most of the times, every time we see a new technology like mobile and new age technologies, ABAP developers typically get left behind, or that's how they perceive it as. So a quick disclaimer before we go ahead: I am not from Neptune. I'm not from SAP. I'm not trying to sell any product. I love to code in a whole bunch of different programming languages, and Neptune is one among them. So if you want to talk about other mobility solutions, probably we can get to that on a later date. But this is all about SAP and Neptune. So this is the agenda for the day. I'll quickly introduce mobile apps, enterprise mobility, and a couple of case studies. And the Neptune, earlier it was called Planet 8. Now it's called DXP SAP Edition. I don't know. They just keep changing names just to add some excitement, so that you don't forget the name and keep coming back to their website though. But it was called Planet 8 SAP Edition. Okay, so the first and foremost is, we have seen an explosion in the number of mobile apps in the last decade. So it's not that mobile apps are new. Mobile apps have been there for more than a decade and a half, even in the days of the Symbian operating system and all. But yes, in the last 10 or 12 years, there is a huge explosion in the mobile application development market. So if you look at the Apple App Store, there are about 1.96 million apps as of end of May 2021, and Google Play Store had more than 2.87 million apps, which is substantially huge. So if you are looking for something, I'm pretty sure you'll just get lost unless you know the exact name of the app. So, and again, some statistics, an average smartphone user, when I say average, they use about 10 apps per day and about 30 apps a month. So if you see more and more amount of time an average user spends is more on a phone as opposed to a desktop or a traditional device. So enterprises are catching up. Not that so again, the pandemic has accelerated this as well, because traditionally enterprise applications are mostly designed and built for the desk workers, so desk job users who build or rather use on a day-to-day basis apps on the desktop. So this is just to give you an overview that mobility is here to stay. It's not a fad. It's not something that's going to go away quickly. Yes, like all technologies evolve, even the mobile technologies have been evolving. So there are three broad categories of mobile applications per se. So one is called the mobile web apps, something that we are all used to. We have all seen it. We just don't know that it's called a mobile web app. Any website that you can open on a browser on a mobile application is called a mobile web app. Most people think, oh no, that's not an app. Anything that you can click on an icon is an app. No, from a fundamental perspective, any mobile website is actually a mobile web app. They're very easy to build, okay? And again, there's a huge technology stack that you can use to build it. HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, you name the technology, Ruby on Rails, you can use it to build a mobile web. And they're also very easy to deploy because you don't have to install anything on any particular device. All you need is a browser, just type the name of the URL and you have the mobile web app. Okay, now we talk about native apps. So native apps are slightly different. They are designed for a particular platform. Let's say iOS, Android, and for those 4 people who are stuck somewhere under a stone who use BlackBerry, yes, BlackBerry apps and Windows mobile apps. They're all native apps, yeah? So they are built using specific technologies like Objective-C, Swift. So you use Swift and Objective-C to build iOS apps. You use Kotlin or Android for Java to build native Android apps, and Windows Mobile and BlackBerry. So now, what is the problem with these native apps. So first of all, they are the most widely available apps. So they are very good. They run very smooth, and they have the best user experience. Okay, so the next, why do I say about, talk about the cons as well? These apps are very difficult to build and maintain. The reason I say difficult to build and maintain, because they are harder programming languages. Objective-C and Swift are not run-of-the-mill programming languages. They're more complex to design and build. And if you have an app that is already built for iOS and you want it in Android, start again. You start building another app in a different programming language. It is nice if you have an army of programmers and unlimited resources, which we know nobody has that. So it's quite difficult to maintain two different code bases. We also know that maintaining two code bases is absolutely a nightmare, because the rate at which you get the new changes and the rate of deployment, multiply that with the different user experiences and the rate at which the native or rather the iOS and Android, they start releasing their own patches. So it just gets difficult to catch up. Now, do we have a middle way? Yes, we do. So they call them the hybrid apps. So these are a mix of a mobile web app and a native app. So we typically use a mobile website and then package it so that it can run on any device. That sounds nice. So it's, first of all, it's cheap to build, because yes, all you do is use some frameworks to package the mobile web app into and run it on any platform, let's say a Windows platform or an iOS or even a BlackBerry and Android as well. So the one that I'm showing on the right is Apache Cordova. This is one of the most popular ones. You have Sync-Attach, Ionic as well, and there are some more types of apps which are typically called, or we could categorize them as the fourth type. Okay, there's a reason why I'm going through these types before I'm getting into Neptune. So there's a story behind. So just bear with me, guys. I know a lot of this sounds like, oh, I've never heard of this before. So just bear with me. I will tell you why I'm going through this journey before I come to Neptune. So now the fourth type is React Native and Xamarin kind of apps. What they do is they're again cross-platform apps. They build the app and compile it into a native app. So one example is your Facebook and the other Instagram, right? So React Native is built by Facebook so that they don't have to have two different types of apps, native apps for different platforms. So they are very fast. Again, they're very they have this hot reloading and a whole bunch of other functionalities. But now, when we talk about enterprise apps, we just have to throw away all of these technologies and say, we are not building a game or anything unless you are working for a gaming company. But most enterprise apps, they need a solution that is intended for their employees to improve their productivity. So how and why we build the enterprise apps is what I'll go with. So a typical example of an enterprise mobile worker is inventory management. It's not Angry Birds, or it's not any of those fancy, nice, good-looking mobile games, but inventory management. This is something which is very important for accurate inventory control. Warehouse management, where you have goods coming in, they need to be tracked. You need to have accurate information about the goods inside your warehouse. Plant maintenance. This is becoming an increasingly important mobility solution. This is something that every one of you have done this in the last one year or so. Whenever you get goods delivered to your home, you do a proof of delivery by signing it. So this is an authentic way of saying that goods are received. The field service engineers. So you have those guys who are always on the go. They need accurate information about customers. They need spare parts. They do order booking, everything. So field service engineers is a very important mobile workforce. And it's not just for all these factory workers, but also the CEOs, CXOs, CIOs, and all the managers who need, who are on the go. They need KPIs, dashboards, everything on mobile devices. So there's a wide variety of use cases for enterprise mobile apps. So you don't have to always be on the desktop to access these, these information. So just imagine if you always are on a desktop and take a picking list and then print it out and then go to the warehouse, it just adds so much cost. And warehouse, they say every step forward and a step backward is a cost, it's an expense. And the last application, I'm pretty sure every one of you like it and love it, the humble timesheet. It is something, which is an essential part of any enterprise application to have a very well functioning timesheet applications. So now from a case study, any questions, by the way, on why we need mobility and what mobility applications are we talking about?
Shyam, Shyam, there is one question which is from Vishal Kawatra, and he's asking, SAP is pushing for MDK, Mobile Development Kit, instead of hybrid apps. Why is that so? And he says, by the way, I'm your ex-colleague. As a fresher, I learned from you.
I absolutely know, Vishal. Yes, Vishal, thank you. And you always put me on the spot. Even when you were even when you were a fresher, you never left me there. But yes, I will get to that. Okay, so again, like I said, when we start talking about technology stack, there are a lot of options. There are a lot of varieties and a lot of things that you can use to build a technology, a mobile application. Okay, so same as a mobile website, you can use HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, you can use Angular. There are various factors that you use, that are into consideration when you decide a technology stack. And then also the MDKs and the native apps that you build, there are very particular use cases. So I'll come to that in a little while. So please bear with me, Vishal. So for a little while, yeah. So this is example of a case study of a very typical warehouse. So all of you have most of you who have seen an SAP warehouse application, we know there is always an inbound scenario, there is an internal scenario and an outbound scenario. So goods come in and they're inbound delivery, the trucks bring in the goods are unloaded, put away, and they have put in racks and stored somewhere. And then there's a sales order where you have to pick some of the goods that were already in the warehouse, pack it, and then load it onto a truck, ship it off. Now, if we don't know where the goods are, okay, the guy will just move around the warehouse in a truck, in a forklift, and they just will come back after half an hour saying, "Sir, Milani, sir, we haven't found the good that you asked for," because all you have is a picking list. You just have a list. You just say, "Get me these 4 items. We have to ship it," or "Get me these 4 pallets." Okay, we don't know where they are stored. We don't know where they were, or do we actually have it in store? So what does mobile applications do in all of this? So one is brings in more agility to the business. So at the point in time when you get the trucks, you scan the barcode, you get the inbound delivery, you know exactly what you're getting. If there is something missing, you are doing that in the put away at that time itself. So you know the inventory is absolutely accurate. You can have auto replenishment. When you're doing the packing, you can do short pick if you know that we don't have the entire goods that are necessary. So all this is only possible if you only have accurate information at the point in time, and believe me, none of these workers in the warehouse are desk users. They absolutely, they probably go back to their desk once in a day to maybe time in, clock out. But all the operations that they do affect the business, okay, affect the productivity of the company. So this is where a very, one of the recent examples of a recent project that we worked on, where all the entire warehouse applications were automated, or rather we had built mobile applications for the warehouse. So now let's get into Neptune. So yeah, we've gone through a lot of slides. Where is the real application as such, and what exactly is Neptune? So now, when we talk about mobile applications, we always think fancy, right? We think of all these technologies, but how do we build rapid applications, rapid mobile applications using the existing team that we have? You know, the existing team has the knowledge. The existing team knows SAP. They know ABAP. So there's a bunch of guys, I think, at Neptune. I'm pretty sure they're all ABAPers. So they all built a mobile platform, a digital platform for ABAPers. So you don't have to bring in a whole new bunch of mobile experts, Senka Touch and Xamarin experts to build something. All you need is your own SAP ABAP developers who know a little bit of JavaScript, who understand the business. That's it. That is enough to build really productive, fancy mobile applications in a real short frame of time. So Neptune, it's nothing but an add-on. So we get a transport. Any basis guy can import the transport and set up Neptune in about half an hour to 40 minutes. It's just 2 files. You just have to import it, and then it runs on the NetWeaver stack. Now, it runs, so you don't have to have a very high-end ABAP on HANA or NetWeaver 750 and higher. It runs as low as 4.7, I believe so. I'm not sure about 4.7, but even on the lowest NetWeaver stack, Neptune runs very well. So just imagine you are enabling a whole wide variety, a spectrum of customers on and enabling them to get into the mobility train or mobility bandwagon. Okay, so there are 2 parts to it. So one is a Neptune application designer, and then so it's a low code drag and drop designer, and then our very humble SE24, which is the ABAP, which is the engine behind the ABAP application classes. So all you have to do is know ABAP, and then understand a little bit of JavaScript and know what UI controls are available. Okay, so Neptune again is sitting on top of your NetWeaver stack, and it runs the security and everything. The roles and authorizations are all using your standard SAP. So you don't have to have an additional infrastructure to have your all of this set up. Any questions before we go to the next? Okay. So now, when on the top you see a mobile. Yes, Pooja.
Yeah, sorry, Shyam. I was just having a question that Neptune can be added to any NetWeaver platform. So does it comes with any cost, or is it free kind of a product which can be installed?
It is not a free product. It is a license. It's a licensed product. Okay, right. And you have to again, you have to procure licenses to run it productively on a production system. But in case you are evaluating it, you can go to Neptune site and just I think get a login and download that. I think you get 2 licenses, 2 developer licenses to do that. Yeah.
Okay, and are there any other products also available? I mean, I'm really sorry. This is very new to me, and I am actually a solution architect in my company, so this is quite exciting for me. Are there any other products also to compare with, so that if we are putting up a plan against the management, so we are going with the right plan?
Yes, to be honest, again, I don't want to get into the pros and cons of evaluating products, because again, the intent is to show the capabilities or go through a technical demo of a particular solution. But exactly. There are many other products that are available in the market, and Neptune is one among them. So again, I don't know if I answered your question, but
maybe I can.
Right. Yeah. Nabi.
So just let me add a bit to it. Is we have very low or no code platforms, okay, and Neptune was designed by our fellow SAP mentors, guys who are working with SAP for more than I don't know how many years, and they were like we are primarily ABAP guys, right? And we don't want people, they want, but they don't. Learning SAP F5 JavaScript is too much for them, so they wanted to create a platform where by being in ABAP, and without OData, using just RESTful JSON stuff, they're able to do crazy things. Okay, so Neptune is one of them. Then we have Mendix. Mendix, I'm aware because I was trying my hands with Neptune, and trust me, I had an amazing experience. But I'm nobody who is promoting Neptune or something, but I had an amazing experience working with Neptune. Okay, if you need to evaluate products, that is altogether, I think you should take it internally with what all
Exactly.
is available and what all you want. One great thing about this is the learning time is very fast. You know, you can just quickly develop an app. It supports offline and number of things it does, and I was like surprised.
Right.
And
I mean, the best thing what I say is the barrier to entry. I mean, this is again a very general topic, right? So the
Right.
barrier to entry is one of the most important aspect in terms of evaluation. Like hot reloading is a very important concept. Okay, but are we Instagram? Do we actually need that? So if that is a part of the use case, yes, a different technology platform like let's say React Native makes sense. But if our end users are for a particular kind of end users, we know the kind of applications that we are building for are, let's say, heavily offline dependent. Yes, Neptune is really good for that. They're offline first as an application solution. Yeah. And again,
Thanks,
yeah, one more important thing. When I was talking about the mobile web apps, there is something which I mean everybody is pushing for. Let's say the Googles and the of the world are pushing for. They call progressive web apps. Okay, they are becoming increasingly important. Like the financialtimes.com, like ft.com, has got a progressive web app. Okay, and again Neptune, and I recently saw, and even on Neptune's website, they also say progressive web app is the way forward. So yes, there are many ways ways to reach a destination, but yeah, you have to evaluate that based on the parameters that you are judging them against. Yeah.
Correct. Thanks, Shyam.
And just in case you want to try it, there is a community package available. All it needs is some transports, and you are up and running with cockpits and everything. We in fact made an app also recently, so yeah, so far a good experience. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Thanks, Naveed. Thanks, Naveed, for that. I mean, I just want to add, this is my very first time I'm joining this. But I feel that, it's really great to be within this group, because this is the discussion which I believe this group wants. So this is a good takeaway. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Pooja.
Shyam, I have one question. It's actually a question from Ranjita, which Naveed has replied, but I will just put it a different way. Okay, the example that you had given regarding the, I think, barcode scanning on the goods receipt and all those things, I think we already have Fury apps for those, right? As I understand that native mobile apps are different from Fury apps, but Fury apps are doing the work that they are supposed to do. Okay, so what are the typical use cases where customers would like to go for the native application using Neptune rather than going for the Fury applications?
Okay, I have some examples that I can give you. Okay, one is we recently heard about this. I mean, this again on Neptune's website and some other places where I saw use cases where this particular company in New Zealand, okay, and they are a utilities company, and they have their field service guys go and check, different their assets. Okay, they go and they do the maintenance and stuff like that. So they go to remote places where there is no connectivity. Okay, so a Fury app doesn't support this volume of data to be stored offline. So I mean, in some of the use cases that we did, we got in like more than 500,000 records or more than 1 million records onto the device as an offline, and then do everything offline. So yes, again, like I said, technologies evolve. I have seen Fury offline as well, and also the MDK, which supports the MDK applications. They also support offline. So these are, I mean, in time. So what point in time you're evaluating depends on the the platforms that are available to you at that point in time. Fury apps, yes, they are evolving as we speak. And again, if you have to build in custom applications, you have to have a Fury client and the whole ecosystem around that. So if you If you have devices, let's say you want to use a barcode scanner or a device with a native support to read something which is on the barcode, or the button on the yellow button on the right side has to interact. All those things just makes it more expensive to enhance your Fiori app. For basic use cases, yes, it's lovely, they work. But now, a typical production scenario is never the most common standard Fiori app. It's way more complex. It's way more custom as such. So I don't know. Did I answer your question? Or?
Yeah, thank you, Shyam. I got your point. Yeah.
Yeah, Shyam, I have one question. Shubhendu here. What do you mean when you say offline apps?
Okay, yeah, this is a very interesting question. Offline, okay, depends on definition to different people. So if you are, okay, my example, when I say offline, is if you are a cop, okay, and you are in a remote place where there is no signal, okay, and you are checking the number plate of a particular car, okay, can you just rely on the connectivity of the database, or you need something? I hear a background.
Let me just, go ahead.
Okay, so what I was saying is offline means when there is no connectivity to the backend system, all processing is happening directly on the device. You have absolutely no connectivity to the source system. Again, there could be different interpretations. We always had this debate about what a real offline is, what offline is, but that is what I typically treat as. Your plant maintenance guys go into places where there is no connectivity back to the system. Your sales guys go into places where they cannot connect back to their enterprise system. They have to rely on the data that's available to them on the device. That is what I would consider to be an offline application.
Okay.
Nabeed, you want to add to it, or?
No, I think that's fair enough, Shyam.
Okay, fair enough. So let me just continue with the next.
And just let me do one thing more. Is in case anyone wants to ask any questions, you can raise your hands also, and we can then call out name one by one. So that will be a bit easy, and plus we'll have questions also at the end. Also, feel free to interrupt. It's a interactive discussion, so it's fun. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. So yeah, I wasn't aware that the Neptune system will be available, so I captured some screenshots. Let me just get into the system itself and show a demo. Yeah. Give me a moment, guys. Okay, so this is what I was referring to as a Neptune application. So if you see, this is again following the same namespace as a Z application. Every Neptune application will have an application class in the backend, which is nothing but your SC24 app class. So this is just an example where you have an MDS customer app interacting with a backend class. The transport and package, everything is as your backend, as your workbench transport. Yeah. So this is the designer view. This is a typical low-code designer, a drag and drop option. So you can just drag the components that are available on the left onto the designer pane, and you can view as you keep building it. Okay. Now, remember the first thing that I was talking about as a mobile web application. So mobile web application is nothing but an HTML5 or a web page or a website. So here it's also the same. It's nothing but an HTML5 document, and you build everything inside the HTML5 document. So what converts this particular thing into a mobile app is the packaging part. It is something that we'll discuss it later. It is it was the Adobe PhoneGap until October 2021, and now we use Cordova or Neptune build services to convert this into a native app, yeah, or a hybrid app. So now, if you see, this is a shell, and inside the shell we have an application. You have all the parameters for the application and the properties on the side, and we have a whole bunch of pages inside the app. Now, let's just go to the design view and see what it does. So this is an O page selection. It is a regular SAP M page. And there are some properties we have set, and then we bind it to something in the backend. Okay, so we'll come to what is there in the backend later. But if you see on the app, we have typically 2 panels and 1 footer bar. And a footer bar has 2 buttons, which is nothing but a clear and a search. This is how you build Neptune applications. Just simple drag and drop. You get the entire view, and then you just can go to the preview and see what exactly has been built until now. Okay, so if you look at this, what do we have? We have a general panel over here, and then you have an organization panel. The properties set it to collapse at the start, and then you have 2 buttons, which is clear and search. Wonderful. Building until now is quite easy. So let's see what does an ABAP developer have to do now. So this is nothing but a simple ABAP view. You can go and see an ABAP class, SC24 class, which was already configured while creating the app. So first thing you have to do is add this interface. And that's the only thing which connects this backend class into the front-end mobile app. Again, the reason I was saying that the entry barrier is so low, you can use any of your existing ABAP class, add this interface, and then convert it into something, into an ABAP class that works with your front-end application. Yeah. Most important is everything that you declare as public is available for binding on the UI. So here we have 3 work areas and about 5 tables. All of them are available for binding. Okay, and then we have a couple of methods which do a sync and search. This again standard ABAP code. Now, what interacts from the front end, or what is the trigger point between front end and back end? So you have a method called get online. So over here, if you see the button search is calling, so on the press event, we're calling this method run search, and we see what exactly does run search do, and go back to the script over here and see, oh, run search is nothing but it's checking if the device is offline. If it is not offline, then just call online. So online is this Ajax, Ajax call. So if you go back over here, you will see that the search is, you see this method search, this gets triggered. So it's very simple. Like any ABAP developer who knows the entire backend can just, within a day or 2, understand how this works and start building mobile applications. And to be honest, this is something that wasn't possible in any other technology. The learning curve itself is quite steep. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to add to it, we also have Abhish Bhattacharya, who has joined us. He's an SAP mentor, and he's also part of Neptune. So he's in the call in case so you have questions and all, so you can shoot. He'll be happy to answer. Yeah.
In case I'm saying something that's absolutely wrong, you can please correct me.
Abhish, you're on mute. Abhish, you're on mute.
Yeah, hi. Actually, I just means Nabita, as I asked my question, means I just want to understand if I have developed one application using this Neptune Studio or a tool. So can we deploy it on this SAP Cloud Platform or BTP platform? And
yes, so
yeah, okay.
Very, very good question. So we basically have 2 products. One is SAP centric. We call it the Neptune Software SAP Edition, and the other one is what do you call that? open edition. So basically that doesn't sit on top of SAP. So with the open edition, you can deploy it on SAP BTP. In fact, we have instances running on SAP BTP, but that's the open edition. That's not the one that sits on top of SAP.
Okay, got it.
Wonderful.
Shyam, sorry, I just jumped in, I mean, Naveed pinged me and I just jumped in and I basically gate crashed your party, man. My apologies.
I am happy to have you. I mean, like I said, I am happy to have comments, expert opinions and review comments. Happy to have you. Yep.
No, please go on. I'll be on mute. If there's anything that I can talk about, I'll be absolutely happy to talk about,
Right. Yeah. So
And
yeah.
Naveed, thanks for getting me on the call, man. I mean,
yeah, I thought of having you, man. You helped me out when I was having an issue. I thought.
And you helped me out. I mean, that's how it works in the world
Yeah,
of SAP champions and mentors.
yeah, man. So, chalo, let's continue. And Shyam,
Yep.
you have 15 minutes more because then we have Mahesh also, cloud application programming module. That session will also start. Okay, that's the time.
Absolutely. So yeah, I just wanted go through another little tiny demo of offline applications and how exactly they are and how do you test them. So this is a simple app. If you look at the app itself, okay, I am sharing the right screen now. So yeah, so this is an app which has one page, one header, and there's a filter bar, and then a table. Nothing fancy, it's just an app, and then you have a button close. So let's just run this app and see what exactly it does. And see that. Okay, so this is now you see we are trying to extract a large database, data from a large database. It's standard SAP DD012, DD02 table, I believe. So we have extracted about 5,000 odd records. Let's see how many we're doing. So I want to show you what I mean by offline and how these exactly work. So every browser by default gives us, I mean, not every browser, please don't quote me and go and use Internet Explorer and say it doesn't work. Sorry, I stand corrected. If it is one of these browsers, which is a Chrome or a Safari or a Mozilla, you have storage that's available, like an IndexedDB or a WebSQL. There are other options, but this is kind of the web browser database that's available. So here, when we do a sync, we have data that's available in these particular tables. So the sync info is a standard Neptune table, which will give you the last time that the sync was performed. And then you can get into the DD02 table and see what was extracted. So here, this is all that was extracted from the backend. And it's
Shyam, you're seeing some difference in because we see this is a large database, sync 1 process, sync 10 process. That's it we are seeing. So you have multiple sync. Yeah, now we are seeing a big screen where we see 50,000 DB records and all. So we are seeing
okay.
This screen.
Okay, I think yeah, maybe it is not. Just give me a moment. Let me see what is showing up. It's not because it's in the developer options, and probably it is not showing up. Just let me share the entire screen.
Yeah, share your entire screen, then it will be easy for you. Otherwise, you will be juggling between the screens.
Yeah. Stop presenting. Okay.
Once again, its screen hasn't come. Have you pressed the share button? Yeah, it is starting. It is starting. Hold on. Yes. Yeah. This was not shown. This local storage was not shown. Now we can see. Good.
Right. So if you see over here, this is the web SQL. This is the let's say we can take this as the device database, and on the device database we have 3 tables that we extracted from SAP, and this was the one which is let's say you sync data. So now it is called the backend ABAP class executed the search function, extracted the data, and then put it into an internal table, and all the data is received on the front end. So now if you see, this table is populated and you have all the data offline. So now if you make this device offline, okay, by turning it offline, let me just try and do that. You will still have the data available on your offline DB. So now this is an example where your device has all the data. You can do all the operations on your offline, and whenever you are available, I mean, you go online or maybe get back to your office or you have connectivity, you can just sync all these processes or all the data back to the SAP system. So this is a typical use case. In case you're interested, this is something that is very quick and easy to implement as well. So yeah, that's all I had from a demo perspective to explain how the Neptune app is. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to add to it, so we are taking because Chrome browser has its own local storage, where it has 3 different kind of storage. I believe it was one was indexed one, another was WebSQL, and there's one more. I'm bad with learning it. So what Shyam demonstrated is like you have everything data which is already in your browser, and now you can, if he has any app or something, doing something with it, he can play around and do stuff without even having an, right? And later, once you get online, then you can do a sync also.
Right.
So,
yeah, and the last part, sorry, I just wanted to complete that. So now if you see, all we did was build an HTML5 page, right? I mean, technically, if you look at it, it's nothing but one HTML5 page with a whole bunch of components, and then it works. Now, if you have to package it, okay, this is something that you use a Cordova or something, and then you can, install that. You can emulate it on a Android or whatever type of device that you intend to build. So Neptune has a build a tool or utility that will spit out a zip file, and then you can either use a Cordova, or I think we were using Adobe PhoneGap until last year, October or something, and then Adobe killed it. So the best way what we use right now is a CLI using Cordova. So, and then you can just test it. So all I've done is package that into
Shyam,
an.
Quickly wanted to add something here. I guess I'm audible. So there's an easier way. If you go onto our portal, it's portal.neptune-software.com. You can actually log in and activate, and then you will get access to what is called as the Neptune build services. And there you can actually upload the zip file that you download from Neptune, and it will spit out either an iOS or iOS IPA or Android APK or a Windows APPX package. So that's, I mean, you don't have to do the CLI. I mean, that was sort of the stopgap, mechanism by which you could do that. But now you don't have to do that as well. So,
right. I mean, Apish, sorry to interrupt that. Just the only reason I said we intend to or need to know this, because we did develop a whole bunch of custom plugins. Again, they're proprietary plugins that we develop for our own devices. Giving away the plugins and the certificates, it's just a matter of
makes
probably,
sense.
yeah.
Makes sense. Absolutely.
But otherwise, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the guys at Neptune have done a phenomenal job in that Neptune build service, which will just spit out the APK and or Android, and then voila, you have deployed it and wherever you want to. Yeah, and you also have a store, I think. And once you start evaluating Neptune, you realize there is a store. You can use that store and then deploy it onto the devices, enterprise devices. Guys, I'm sorry for hogging all the time. Sorry, I did what I could. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present, and thanks Mohit and Naveed and Gaurav for motivating me to do it as well. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
That's perfectly fine. I think it was a great session. Just go to that Neptune Cockpit. Let's show something more also. Can you just go to the Neptune Cockpit? or designer, the designer.
Okay, designer.
Designer. You had this open, right? Yes, yeah, this
Yeah.
one. So if you just go to this setting icon on the left hand side, setting icon, yes. So guys, because there was a question, where is the connection and all. One is when you create an app, you also provide what application class it will be, right? So which will be particularly like your app side, which will basically talk to the front end or whatever. And when Shyam shows you the model and binding, right, that stuff is coming from whatever is created in this class, the methods and all. Okay, so that is how this is working. And I think we did a great job, Shyam, in such same time. So nice. Okay, questions. Time for questions. Somebody has a question? And plus, whoever wants to try it, go ahead, community.neptune.com. You can download it and try it in your demo system also.
Hi, Nabit. Hi, Shyam. So basically, it's not a question. I just want to share my feedback and all the experiences with I have seen with the Neptune. So I have seen Shyam had developed various very nice, in fact, more than 15 Neptune-based application in very less amount of time, which seems to be impossible with our normal Fiori application with respect to our business functionality and all. So I can really appreciate the way Neptune means that we can develop the offline applications with the complex WM, PM, and all those typical business functionality. It can really make sense to use those applications. So it was really wonderful session, Shyam. Good luck. Yeah.
Okay, then I think thank you, Shyam. So before we start the second session, so what we wanted to do was talk about two things. One is maybe Shyam, you can stop sharing. Okay, thank you. So what is one is for those of you who haven't joined our WhatsApp group, that we have already created a WhatsApp group, which is to inform you just in time that boss, we are having some sessions. Come and join us. Let's learn. So in case you are interested, you can ping me on this number and I'll add you to the group. Okay, the number is there. Number two, I'm going to launch a poll right now for our next session. Okay, next meeting, which is meeting 8, which is next month, of what different sessions you want. As in, there are 4 options. I would request everyone to choose, and it is launched. You can just quickly everyone select your options, whichever you want, and in case you have any other suggestions, you can just ping us. So maybe, does you see the poll? Anyone sees the poll? Okay, I can see the board now. Good. I thought maybe there is a glitch and all. So I would request, yeah,
Navit,
yes.
just wanted to, say, I don't know how the interest is, but we have an open edition as well that anybody can download. You don't need an SAP platform to run it, right? And that uses OpenUI 5, and you can build apps using that. I personally have built, a one-to-one video chat application using that. So
Yes.
it's sort of like Teams. You know about that, Navit, right?
Yes,
so
yes,
that's
yes.
there, and then there's with geolocation and stuff. So if you guys wanted to take a look at that, I can sort of show you some of the cool demos that we have with device integration and what we have done using that, and also show you how easy it is to build an app using that, and sort of also tell you how to basically download, install, and run that. If you would want a session like that, I would be happy to do that.
Great. Abhish, definitely what we'll do is we'll plan it in the next coming sessions, months, right? And I will ask you, reach out to you to show us those demos, right?
Yeah, now we just put it up for vote because there might be other topics that people might be more interested in. So if it gets enough votes, I will come and present. Else we'll take up on the other topics. Okay, I just don't want to butt in right here.
Yeah, because this poll I cannot edit. So maybe the next month we have this. I'll add it to the poll. Let people vote, because whatever people want, we will try to do that. Okay,
absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay, so I think most of the people have voted for is SAP RESTful app is at the top, around 20 votes we got, right? And then we have IRPA, which is there. I have shown also to the results. So I think next time, hopefully, Gaurav and every one of us, people who are interested, they come and maybe nominate yourself for RESTful app or IRPA. IRPA, I know, which is there in the call. So maybe I would request him to nominate. But people, everyone on the call, you feel free to nominate. So without wasting further much time of yours, we will be starting with our next session, which is SAP Cloud Application Programming Model by our SAP Baba, Fiori Baba, Mr. Mahesh Kumar. He's a community champion. He does amazing work, right? And he's also the founder of, co-founder of SAP Yalcha, and this SAP Stammtisch India was somewhere took inspiration from these guys, and they inspired us, and we started it. So thank you, man, and warm welcome. Maybe you can start sharing your screen.
Thanks, Navid, for that amazing introduction. And Shyam, it was a great session, and it was a great learning about Neptune. I was always having some kind of misconception about Neptune, but today, it gave me some idea how beautiful the Neptune is. Okay, so let me share my screen. So I cannot, yeah. I hope my screen is visible. Just let me know, guys.
Yeah.
Start.
Yeah,
okay.
We can see.
Great. So let me first introduce myself. I'm Mahesh Palavalli, and I have around 9 years of experience in SAP as a full stack consultant, ABAP, Fiori, Cloud Platform, all these things. And I'm currently working for a government organization in UAE, Dubai. And that's a brief introduction about me. Like Nabeed said, we usually do meetups in here Dubai. That's also online only. So it's not that I have to only give sessions there. So Nabeed asked me that I can give any session. So I joined here. I usually join time to time here. So because to meet people to speak, right? So this community is like Stammtisch events, right? These are the best places to meet people, in my opinion. So that's how I made so many connections, so many friends, right? So I know many people here. I can just, tell how many of them I know. But anyway, I don't want to point out names, but I know many people. So I'm really happy to see all of the familiar faces here. So I think that is one because of SAP being active in SAP community, right? And I'll just talk about myself. So let me come to the current session. So today I'm going to talk about how to integrate cloud application programming model, right, with the S/4HANA on-premise system. So maybe you guys might have heard these words from SAP: side-by-side extensions, keep the core clean. So you might have heard about all these things, right? So today we are going to see, I'm going to talk about them, and I'm going to give a small demo about it. So less theory and more demo, because I did not prepare. I actually prepared all these things yesterday only, even demo and these slides. The slides I prepared in the morning because I was having too much work this month, so I did not get time till yesterday. Navid pinged me, then I started working on this. But so somehow I was able to complete this. So yeah. Now, when I'm talking about S/4HANA side-by-side extensions, means what SAP says is, see, they when in terms of upgrade from on-premise to cloud, or in terms of upgradation in the on-premise system itself, right? In order to avoid issues in that process of upgradation, so SAP says, don't do a lot of changes in the core, and use side-by-side extensions which are based on SAP BTP cloud platform. So create the applications there, and then don't deploy. I mean, it will be deployed there itself, and then you will use it as a tile in the launchpad of our S/4HANA on-premise system. So usually this is more applicable for cloud-based services, in my opinion. For example, if you talk about SuccessFactors as S/4HANA Cloud, right? There you will see this side-by-side actions, because you cannot create applications in the S/4HANA Cloud, right? Because it's a public cloud. So what you do is you create an application in your BTP platform, cloud platform, and then you deploy it as a tile. You will show it as a tile, right, in your S4HANA Cloud or SuccessFactors. So there you will see the side-by-side extension. There are actually two types of extension. One is in-app extension, one is side-by-side extension.
Once
So
again, Mahesh, let me just stop you. So Ramesh and Mohit, you have raised your hand. Any questions you have? Doesn't look like. So Mahesh, continue.
Okay. So when I talk about in-app extensions, these are nothing but extensions capabilities that are provided by the cloud applications or on-premise. Like, when you create, when you extend a field, when you add a new field in the table. So these are in-app extensions. So these are provided by the frameworks itself. Like, for example, SuccessFactors provide it, and S4HANA provides it. S4HANA Cloud also provide it. They are called custom fields, custom BO, right? Those are the applications. I think many of you guys know it. If you guys don't know, just Google it. I'm not going to go into that area. So this is side-by-side extensions. Side-by-side extensions is like you are developing a new application which is based on the existing services of the cloud. For example, today I'm going to talk about licenses. This is it's not a right example, but I'm just going to take this one. So licenses for business partners. So you are creating a licenses for business partner. So business partner, this licenses is a separate table, separate fields it requires. Maybe it has another, association with another table. It's a huge development, but it requires some inputs from the existing services. Like, for example, it requires business partner F4 help, right? Or maybe it requires XYZ, right? So this is side-by-side extension where it's a complete different application you are developing. Usually customers, we will face a lot of these requirements from the customer that we want a custom table, we want to develop a UI, you want to post orders or something, right? Or maybe it's an integration between one system to another system where if it is created there, you need to show that, and some XYZ you need to do that, right? So there are many use cases, but I'm just taking a very simple use case just to show the demo. This is licenses application, right? So what happens with this is you can see on the right side, you can use S4HANA OData services or your custom OData services, which is connected with your SAP extension suite and SAP integration suite, which is SAP Business Technology Platform, part of Business Technology Platform, right? And this application is deployed in cloud platform, and end user will access it from the Fiori Launchpad on the cloud or from the Fiori Launchpad from the on-premise system. So that is how it works. But like I said, right, this is more applicable for cloud-based systems, S4HANA Cloud, those things. But SAP recommends to use it for on-premise system also to keep the core clean without doing unnecessary changes in our SAP system, right? So it's a it's a good thing for them because they will get a lot of money out of this. But I see a lot of customers these days preferring to go with this methodology, like, because they have this catchy phrase, keep the core safe and clean, right? So yeah,
just to interrupt, Mahesh, it should be lean, it cannot be clean.
yeah, exactly.
So it's typical discussions these days. You cannot get away from coding in your course, so it can never be clean. So
correct. Exactly. Even in on-premise, right?
Note, yeah.
We have to use baddies or something XYZ to do it. We don't have any choice. Yeah, as much as we can, we need to avoid. That is what SAP is saying.
So yeah, it's lean rather than clean.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you develop these applications, right? So if you want to use cloud, you have to go for there are many databases online, many services online, there are many XYZ things online, right? In online, you find different kinds of services from Google, Azure, many things. But SAP has given two different services. They are called cloud application, not services, the tools or technology that used to develop the applications. So one is SAP CAP and one is RAP. So today I'm going to only talk about CAP, which is Cloud Application Programming Model. So this is used to generate OData services as well as annotations, which is consumed by the Fiori application, and this total thing will be deployed in SAP Cloud Platform, right? SAP Cloud Platform, SAP Business Technology Platform in Cloud Foundry runtime. So this is what we are going to do today. And there will be two applications that we are going to create. One is OData service, because we need OData service, right? And this OData service will be connected to HANA database, SAP Cloud HANA database. And we will create another Fiori application which consumes this OData service, and we will deploy this in BTP. So these are the three things we will develop. And you might question that, oh, so much development we have to do for just creating a simple Fiori application for licenses. It's not that. If you see what the code I will do, it will be pretty simple and straightforward. You don't need to put a lot of effort, right? Next thing is, like I said, I will use CAP. What is CAP? CAP is Cloud Application Program Model. This is a technology from SAP, and it is based on JavaScript, Node.js, and most of the guys here, for the guys here who are familiar with JavaScript and Node.js, it will be fairly simple for them. In fact, I found it very simple and very exciting when CAP was released, and whenever I try to, test it out. So you will have fun with it, definitely. If you don't know it, start learning about it. There are many courses, many blog posts out there, so you will easily learn that without issue. And even for this, the core that you need is JavaScript. So JavaScript, there are many videos out there, many YouTube videos out there. You can learn them from them. And also Nabit also created many tutorials, right? So you can go and learn from them. So I'm not going to go again in depth into CAP because it's a whole different thing. In depth means introduction, what are entities, what is that, XYZ. I am not going to go through that. Just there is a help, and there are many open SAP videos, right? So you can check them out. So I'll come to this expectation part. So what expectation is, you will definitely not become a SAP CAP expert, or you will not become a SAP on-premise side-by-side extension creation expert. You will be, this is like a enablement session for you. So you will understand, okay, we can do something like this, and without a lot of effort. So this is the idea that you will get from this session. Definitely you will not be an expert after this, but you can be an expert at talking that I know SAP S/4HANA Service Extension after this, right? So that is the expectation. So don't think much. And also I just prepared this yesterday, so don't expect from the demo also much. It will be very simple application. So without any further ado, I will start with the demo part. This demo just shows how to create a simple side-by-side extension for an on-premise application, right? Before showing the demo, I'll already created one application. I'll just show that here. So it's a very simple Fiori application, which has a database, like I said, in SAP S/4HANA Cloud. S/4HANA, not S/4HANA, SAP BTP Cloud. Yeah, HANA Cloud. So I already created one data as well. If you see this business partner, right? So this is coming from on-premise S/4HANA system, right? So I'll create it. This is very dummy application, guys. You should not do like this. There are actually standards to follow, but for the demo purpose, I just created something. So let's say I selected this Tata Steel. Yeah, see, I got all these things, right? I did not do any specific coding, just use annotations to do this.
Yeah, and maybe just walk us through that application also.
Yeah, just after this, yes, exactly. So demo means not this demo, Nabid. I'll show coding demo.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I created this. See, even this number is incremented automatically, right? So these are the small things I'll show how to do, but there is, there is like so many concepts, so many things out there, but I'm just showing a small piece out of it. So there are so much things left for you to explore after this session in CAP or in SAP Cloud Platform everywhere. So first, let me start with, I'll not show this demo application. What I'll do is I'll go through the application creation quickly. So then we will see. right? So I'll start with the template. So this is Business Application Studio, right? So I hope many of you already know it. If you don't know, just Google it. You will get some good articles, blog posts, and even SAP developer tutorials, right? How to set up this. So you need to set up for full stack cloud application space, right? So this is the one that is required. So let's me start from the template, and I'll select the CAP project. Yes, so let me give side by side BP. Yeah, side by side BP. Yeah, that's, or maybe yes, BS BP, side by side BP. Okay, so this template already offers certain things like HANA development and these and some custom linters and basic files. That's okay. Let's start. Finish it. So it generates a project right now for me. So it will open it in a new workspace. Yes, it opened in a new workspace. This is our application, right? So it's a very basic application. I'll just do npm install and run it once. But it's very slow. Maybe it's installing something. Npm install, it installs all the dependencies and everything. So as of now, nothing is there. It's just a dummy application, but I just want to show how it runs. So I create the configuration, right? Development profile. So it created here. I'll run it. I'm just showing you guys how easy it is to generate a simple application, a very simple application in CAP. So I run it here. Yep. I'll expose it. See, I have my OData service. It already has some entity that's already there here. So it took that entity when we generated the sample, selected the sample, right? So it is coming from there. This is the OData service. I didn't do anything right now. So even I can do this. So some dummy data is also there. This is local data. So it's coming from there. Yeah. So that is how it is simple to generate application, right? And now let me go to the let me stop sharing my screen. Let me show you the on-premise system once. On-premise. So the system belongs to my friend Punit. I think he is still here in this call. So actually I took all the, even this cloud platform also, this everything belongs to my friend Punit. He is also one of the expert in SAP. So I learned a lot from him. So I hope you are here, man. I'm just shouting out for you. So let me show this window. So this is on-premise system here.
Mahesh, once again, screen hasn't come. Let it
okay.
load.
Okay.
It is loading and we can see the tab now. Yeah, go ahead.
Perfect.
We can see Google tab. Yeah.
Okay. Punit, are you there, man? I want some user ID password for this if you are there.
Sorry, don't exchange the password here, man.
This is yeah, better. I don't know. I don't remember it. But anyway, guys, so here I exposed the system in the cloud platform, right? So I exposed it from here. I have this cloud connector also set up here. So it's already done by Mr. Punit, not this one. But anyway, he exposed everything. I'll show it in the cloud platform. So this is on-premise system we have. Let me close it. Stop sharing. Share again my window. Yep. No, this one. Yeah. Yeah. very slow cloud platform. I hate SAP CP. So see, this is Mr. Punit's cloud connector. So it is there. So connected already. And I have created a destination for this as well. So this is a destination on premise. Sorry, this one. Yeah, this one. Exactly. So this is a destination. This is a general destination, but I created another destination for business partner OData service. So this is specifically for business partner OData service, right? This one. Okay. So I just want you to remember this, guys. Now, I have this destination here, and I also have created HANA Cloud Platform service. See, SAP HANA Cloud, right? So I created, because our database licenses database will be deployed in SAP HANA Cloud. So that's why I created this instance. It is active and up and running right now. So these are some of the prerequisites that you have to do, right? So after that, what I have to do is, let me go back. Yeah. So now, first thing is, let me, before building the licenses database, what I'll do is first I'll consume the business partners OData service here. So for that, you have to do, I hope everyone are able to see my screen. Yeah, I think, yeah, fine. So what I'll do is I'll create a folder here, external, right? I created the external folder here.
Maybe you can increase the size also.
Increase the size.
Control plus, this font size.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's fine.
Perfect. So I created external folder. In that folder, I'll create my OData service EDMX file. I hope everyone knows EDMX file here. So let me just show here. Go back this one. Service dollar metadata. You need to copy it from the business partner file, right? You need to copy all this data from the business partner OData service and paste it here. So I already have it. I'll just copy paste it here. So I don't need to waste all the time copying. So I'll get the file here first. Okay, this is my OData service, right? And I'll copy all this EDMX file here, data, content, all good, right? So now I'll go back to my console and I'll do CDS import. I need to import it. So this is just a EDMX file. I need to import it in our CDS project as a CDS so that our CDS will understand it. Right now, SRV slash external slash I imported it. So if you see here, it generated a CSN file. Why this is required is this will be understood by our CAP application. So it will not understand EDMX file. It will convert that EDMX file into CSN file.
Mahesh, there's one question.
Yes.
When to choose CAP or RAP as for side-by-side extensions?
Yeah, so it depends on the I would say developers background from the company. If they have more of ABAPers, then it is better to go for ABAP. If they have like Fiori, ABAP all together, right, it's better to go for Node.js based CAP one. I prefer, even though I am from the ABAP background, I started my career as ABAP guy, but I prefer to do it with the CAP because it's so powerful. JavaScript is so powerful. Many of you who already know UI5 knows how much powerful JavaScript is. So I love JavaScript, and I would definitely go with this only instead of ABAP. Sorry guys, but I love ABAP CDS and all, but still this is the one that we should go because it has so many features. You can just compare it by yourself, right? I go into this comparison of CAP and RAP, but there are many advantages of using CAP because of its ease of use and many powerful features and integrations with different cloud services, which ABAP doesn't have it yet, but it will have it soon, right? this wrap, you don't confuse it with wrap. Wrap is not wrap is just a technology which is there in on-premise and also in ABAP on cloud. So what SAP says is use ABAP on cloud and CAP. So these are the two things. ABAP on cloud, we use that ABAP on cloud system to generate the side-by-side extensions. And the main criteria we need to see is mostly based on the developer's background. If they are more ABAPers, then better to go for wrap because they cannot learn UI5, JavaScript and Node.js and CAP, right? So that is one thing. I hope
Thanks,
that
Mahesh. Just wanted to add what Mahesh said, right? So there is other criteria also like your legacy code, right? So we have a lot of legacy code we are carrying forward from our previous SAP systems, and we have written so much of code, right? So if you go with CAP, the possibility of using that legacy code is much less as compared to if you will go with wrap, because wrap gives you the opportunity with unmanaged implementation that you could bundle up your already existing logics and codes, the classes, the function modules, and directly use that in the wrap unmanaged implementation, which is huge effort saving as compared to building it all together fresh. Right? So depends on what we are going with. So if fresh implementation all to be written from crude, probably you will go with CAP with capabilities it is having. But if legacy code, you probably go with REP.
Thanks, man. Thanks for that point. And yes, that is also one important point we need to consider.
But Mahesh and Vijay, can we combine these two? Like, let us say we have some legacy code also available, and let us say now we are starting with CAP, and at the end we have certain ODatas. Can we club it over here? The old ODatas which I've been using for since let us say 4-5 years over here, the CAP which are developed in like normal ABAP or let us say RAP. So is it possible, or how is that sync up basically?
Okay, wonderful thought. I'm just thinking on the fly what you're asking. And when I'm thinking on the fly, what I see is what we are building with the wrap is nothing but an OData service, right? Which is holding all your logic. So CAP allows you or has the capability to call external APIs or the internal, whatever local APIs we are talking about. So if I want to extend my solutions with a logic which is already written in a RAP service, what is stopping us to call that and extend that in CAP? Idea
Yeah,
was
so
in CAP, right?
Yeah, it's a general.
So I'm just thinking on the fly. So I'm open to suggestions or.
That is actually correct, man. Like whatever your thinking process is right.
Yeah.
It's just service, right?
Yeah.
You can use n number of ways to generate different services. It's not only wrap and CAP. You can also deploy something else based on Node.js, right?
Exactly.
There are many things out there online which generates OData service or GraphQL services, right? So you can also use them. It's up to us and it's based on our requirement.
Exactly. So basically, what we are trying to say is just your package your legacy code in a service built from RAP, consume that in your CAP for extra or additional functionalities that you can easily achieve in CAP probably, and you can have a hybrid solution.
Yes, exactly.
And just in the context why I asked this question is because if you see, I am working on a BW system, and there are services which are automatically generated by the BEX OData services by SAP. They will be like not supporting annotations or anything. They'll be like very old OData V2 services, and it is very difficult to integrate them because there are many challenges. You have many restrictions. So that's why I was talking. If we have a latest environment, if we can integrate some BW analytics over there, that would be beneficial. Yeah.
Yes, that will be interesting to try out. Yes, definitely.
Okay. So
nice.
I will switch back to development. So see, I have this package.json where you can see it added this here model and this one, right? It's OData service. But we need to add something else for that. I'll just copy paste from here. That is the destination, right? So this destination is nothing but the destination that is there here. I hope you guys saw that earlier, right? So that is the same destination that we are using here. So what happens is this OData service will be redirected to this destination. Okay? So now all good. So we have connection with the destination. We have imported this OData service EDMX file, but how to expose it? So I have this cat. So before showing that, I think I need to tell a little bit about this one. So how this books entity came here, right? So how these books came here. So I need to talk about that. I think I skipped it. Okay, so why is there are two files that are created? One is two folders basically. One is database folder, one is service folder. Database folder is a place where you put all database related stuff, right? If whatever you add here with entity, it will create a database table in the SQLite or in the SAP Cloud Platform, HANA database, right? So for that you will you put all those details here, different services, different database models you will put here. And in the service, what you do is you will expose these services to the outside world. For example, see, I imported this from my database module, and then I'm creating a service, catalog service, and I'm exposing the books entity here. This is a books entity, right? So this is only read only. It will not perform create, update, delete operations. Just read only. So this is the exact thing that I have done already generated by SAP. So just because of these two statements, these two code, like maybe hardly 5-6 lines of code, it generated the whole OData service, and see everything is working out of box. So right, so that is how you expose a OData service, expose an entity from the database module here, right? So now I want to expose my business partner service as well. So this business partner service, what I'll do is let me first import it here, right? Okay, so just using I don't need CSN probably, right? So what I'll do is I'll only import as business partners. I'll come to that. So what I'm doing is here I'm importing one second. So I'm importing my BP API from my this one, this API, right? So now what I'll do is I'll expose this, right? I'll create another entity projection here, entity. Let's call it as business partners data, or let's say business partners details, right? DET, right? As projection on what? See, when I imported, right, it has a lot of entities and all, right? It converted it to CSN file. That is why for me control space is working here. See, what I did is I just imported my business partners entity here, right? And then what I'll do is I have all different fields that are coming from this OData service that is converted into CSN file. So one is business partner I need, and one more thing I need is business partner full name I'll take. So these are the two details I'll take from here. Why this is giving error here? Okay, I missed semicolon. Okay, so I got these details here. So I got the business partner API here. Now what I'll do is I'll go back to my application here. See, I got automatically the what is destination here. So if I connect this destination, it will ask me to connect to the destination that I gave in the package.json here. So I'll just connect because this is to run locally. So when I have to connect locally, then only it will connect and it will fetch the data, right? Yeah, so I connected it. This is perfect here. Now let me run this. Yeah, it will still not work, but anyway, what I'll do is it will not run. Why I'll tell it will not run? Because currently I'm only exposing the entity information here, but I'm not fetching the data because it doesn't have database table here. Unlike here, if you see for the DB module, right? Forget about this. Under here, I have my database entity here. So what happens is a database table will be created in the cloud platform or in the SQLite database, and then that table will be exposed. But for this one, what will be exposed? You just imported, I just imported here from my EDMX file, the entity information, but where the data will be fetched. We didn't write any of that, right? So I have to write it in the AS file here. So this is a implementation for this service. I created with the same name. That is mandatory. I have to create with the same name. And what I'll do is I'll just copy paste some code without wasting a lot of time. I'll tell what exactly I'm doing here. No, I don't have this. See, so I imported from my service entities, one entity is business partner data. So this is, I'll tell why I'm importing it here. But now what I'm doing is I'm using CDS API to connect with the business partner service. So now what I'll do is whenever a read operation is performed on this business partner, whenever a read operation is performed on this business partner, right? So this is a business partner. That's why I'm importing the entity here. On this entity, whenever a read operation is performed, let me just comment it out first and go to my application. I'll unexpose. Let me run again. The irritating part is I have to wait every time. Okay, so refresh. It did not found. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so here it is. See, I have business partner information. If you see the metadata, it has the business partner information that I exposed, right? I only exposed the two fields. That is coming here, all good. But when I run the get the data, no, data will not work because it doesn't know where to fetch the data. So that is what I'm going to do now. What I'm doing is whenever a read operation is performed on this entity, I'll use this business partner service that I had connected here, and I will pass whatever the request parameters that are coming. Maybe I will pass a top, right? Maybe instead of top, I will pass some other parameter, all these parameters, and then I'm running that query. So, and it will return the data here, right? So I'll save it here. I just saved it. I'll refresh this one. So it will get refreshed and we can check it out. So we are all testing now everything locally, right? So I refreshed it. Yep, we got our data, first 11 records. So now you are able to see, right, how I connected to my on-premise system in my CAP application. This is a CAP application which created a OData service which is connected to my OData service in the S4HANA. It can be your S4HANA on-premise, it can be your S4HANA cloud or SuccessFactors or anything Concur. Process is similar, no big changes. It's all same. So yeah, I got this here. I'm getting the data. So everything is good. So now we have business partner data. We don't want books. We want licenses, right? I was telling earlier that I will create a licenses entity. So I don't want the business partner. So what I'll do is, let me create a licenses entity here. So I don't want to change this namespace, let it be. But when you are creating an actual application, right, for the production, then you have to create a proper namespace, all these standards and all. So first, let me create this as licenses, right? I want to give ID as UID. I want to go with the normal ID. I just want to give a UID, and I will go with the here license ID 10, right? Okay. So license. It's just reading. I'll just copy paste, guys. Sorry, it's too. It will take another 1 hour if I code like this. Okay. So see, I got my ID here, which is UID, GUID in ABAP, right? And license ID, name, business partner full name. Really not required, but anyway, I gave it. Valid from, unvalid to. So can I add historical data, like when it was created on, created by, right? So instead of doing all that, adding historical data, like usually when you create a table, right, we write who created it, changed on, created by, so created on, we do all this, right? This is not actually required. CAP has given some reusable features for us. So what I'll have to do is I'll just have to use managed, right? Which is from, I need to pick it from this library, CDS. I hope it is fine. Yeah. So see, if I open this, right, I can see a standard code. It's an aspect. So it's like enhancing your structure. So it has already have some fields here. It already has some fields here. So that will not come here. But what I'll do is when I mention here, right, so this licenses will inherit those 4 fields. When the database table is created, it will have those 4 fields there. And also this key and all, I don't need to write the code for the key also. So what I can do is I can import something called CUID. CUID is nothing but it's also another aspect. So it's UID field. So I just mention UID here. So what happens is I have UID and it has additional 4 fields.
Mahesh,
yes.
So Pankaj's question is like client ID, like MANDT 100 to 100 required or not, client ID.
I don't think we have client IDs or something like that here. Maybe it's a separate concept in SAP Cloud Platform. It's tenant based something, they do it like that.
Or maybe because your destination when you're logging into a client. So
you're talking about that client, exactly.
Yeah, man, we are a web. We'll talk about that client.
I was thinking something. So here, if you see SAP client is given here.
Yes, this is there. Yeah. So Pankaj, I hope that's clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I change my entity information here, right? This will create a new database table called licenses. But I need to expose this licenses, right? Here it's now showing as books. I'll just change it as licenses. See what I have only here licenses anyway. So I'm exposing that licenses as licenses here. So that's it. I did not do any additional changes. One more thing I want to show you guys is let's connect. Currently, it is connected to SQLite database. It's like a local database based on SQL. But what I want to do is I want to connect it to HANA database. So I'll change this to HANA here. I change it to HANA. So now it should change here to HANA ideally. Yeah, it changed to HANA database, right? See, now I'll connect it to HANA database. I'll connect this to HANA database. So now what I'll do is I'll use some existing HANA service. I think I have to talk a little bit more about it, but I'll just say what is that 3 pop-ups that are coming there. I'll give a very brief intro. So remaining and all you can explore. So this is my HANA cloud service, right? This is my HANA cloud service. In order to access that, to push database table set, to read from there, we need to create instances for that HANA service. So let me go back here to here. Instances. I already created a couple of instances. So see, these are instances. HANA shared. This is HANA trial, right? So this is picking from that. So what I'll do is I'll reuse that only. I don't want to create a new one. So I'll select any one of them. It will go and deploy into that database, into that schema. So now I selected it. It is trying to deploy. Yeah, it is running. It probably it is deploying. See, it is asking me to deploy to this database. Yes, I'll say yes. So already exist. Go and create. Yep, it created. So you can see now it generated in gen folder. It generated some. Why? I don't need this. I already deleted. Let me delete. I don't need the temporary data now. I'll remove it. So see here. Where am I? Yeah. See, it created a database table. So this is a database table with all these fields, and this will be deployed in the HANA Cloud Platform. You can explore this later on. So I'll just close this for now. Okay. So now where are we here? We have connected to HANA database for the licenses. This licenses has to be connected to the database table, right? So this is connected to HANA database table, and my OData service is also connected to this destination, business partner BP. So now what I'll do is I'll just go here and refresh it, so it will re-execute everything again. Okay. So now, yeah. So I have licenses here. See, I have licenses. So if I go and see my metadata, it has ID, which is type GUID, of course, and created by these 4 fields are coming from that managed, and these are the normal fields that I have given there. So I have all the things that are required. Now the only thing that is required now is to create a Fiori application which does this operation. So we now has a for help, all these fields coming. You already see that service, and we also created the database table and OData entity for licenses. So we just need to prepare the application. So before creating the UFA application, what I'll do is I'll add the annotations here. So let me create a file, annotations.cds. I hope now many of you guys are already aware about annotations. So annotations are used to create the Fiori element application, right? So yeah, so you can Google more about it. So what is the actual use case and stuff. So what I'll do is if I sit and type, it will take a lot of time to do this. So what I'll just copy it from my application that I created.
Yeah, man, you copy it. Typing speed is slow.
Okay. I usually type fast, man, but I don't know now all this, right? So yeah, one thing I want to do is I want to make it a draft enabled. I didn't show that to you guys. So if you see, this is not draft enabled. So there is no draft enabled here. It's not draft enabled. So what I'll do is I'll make it draft enabled. So for that, I need to copy from here. You just have to enhance your, see, you are just telling that your OData service is draft enabled, right? And annotations, I'll go to annotations here. So I'll annotate my licenses. Draft enabled. So this entity is now draft enabled. And I'll add. Yeah. So now what I'll do is I'll add these fields for the labels.
Kishore, you have raised the hand. Kishore, any questions you have?
Yeah, Nabit, I have a question, but I'll wait.
Okay, feel free to speak anytime.
Yeah.
So I just added a couple of my fields here. and I don't want my license ID to be editable, because this license ID will be generated from the backend, from the CDS. It will be generated. No one, you don't want to add, you don't want to, oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, okay. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, you don't want to enter user to enter the license ID, which will be generated from the backend, right? So license ID I will generate, so I'll make it as read only. And this ID, GUID, which is generated, you don't want to show it to the UI, so I'll hide it completely. It's not required. So I just use a couple of annotations. You can check ufi.sap.com and see what creates a Fiori application, what annotations creates the Fiori application. So for instance, I'll just show one example, because it's another whole different world. So I don't want to go into all that. I'll just type header, right? So header field group, if you go here, see it shows all the annotations that CAP requires. So you can take these annotations and you can use it here. I'll close this for now. Now, okay, so I want to also have business partner ID. So this business partner is here, right? This needs to have a F4 help now. So how I will give the F4 help is, I need to use some specific annotation for that, right? That is called value list annotation. And this value list annotation, what it says is, it says that fetch the data from this entity. So what is our entity? Business part, no, our entity here you can see, right? This is our business partner details entity. So it has to fetch from the business partner details, right? And it has business partner, it will take in and out. In and out means if you enter some value, it takes and it will show it in F4 help, or from F4 help, it will come back to your Fiori application. So this is all annotations. You can just try it out. This is only for output. Whatever is there, it will come. And if any other field is having the same field name, it will come and saved over there. For example, I'll tell the importance of this. What happens is, this is a local property. Local property means my, let me create here. This is my local property, right? So this property has to be filled from the business partner ID itself. When I select my business partner ID, it has to be filled here. So if I select this, see, automatically this is getting filled, right? For that, I use this annotation called parameter out. So what happens is, from the value list, from the F4 help, it takes this value and pushes it to local data property, which is partner name. So for example, if you have a different name here, right, like business partner name or name, just name, so that property you have to give it over here. So that concludes our value list F4 help part. So now we also have to show some selection screen, right? For example, these and all. So what I'll do is, I'll line items, all these things. I'll just copy paste this code. It will take a lot of time. These are general annotations. So now see, what I did is, I added selection field. Selection fields are for this. And I added line item. Line item are for table, right? So that is that. And header info. Header info is when I go inside here. So this information is coming here, right? So this is the header info. These are coming from here. And next thing is field group. So if you see, these are the fields, different fields, right? All these fields, I defined it here. All the fields, I defined it here. So those are the fields that are coming from there. And I define the fields, but where this field has to be placed, it has to be placed in general information, right? In some tab, right? So general information tab. I don't know why this header is coming. I have to remove it, but anyway, leave it. So general information, right? So I created a facet. Facet means it's a tab. So I created this facet, which takes the fields from my field group gen info. So this is my field group. It takes from this field group and it shows here. So that is everything about these annotations here. So now what I'll do is I'll just go and refresh once. This is our application that's already deployed in the database in cloud platform. So now I refreshed. Did I refresh? No, I did not refresh. I'll refresh over here. Okay.
So meanwhile, Mahesh, the question is there from Paras. Paras, how OData draft enable helps here in Fury app?
Yes. So draft is a huge concept and it's a very interesting concept. So what happens is, I'll tell you. So I'll tell very small explanation for that. See, in ABAP Fury applications, right? In ABAP Fury applications, locking is a major problem. So what happens is, if I'm just telling one of the use case of draft. So one of the use case is locking. So if two users are editing one application at the same time, right? So it has to throw an error, but Fury applications, it will not do that because it's not a persistent. What the hell? I forgot the name completely.
Because these are disconnected, because these two are like serverless.
Yeah, what is that word?
Stateless. Yeah,
What the hell? I forgot. So these are stateless applications. So in order to fill the gap, to do the locking and all, SAP introduced draft concept. We also have OData soft state, which consumes a lot of resources, and it's not something that we can rely on. But draft is something we can rely on. It works fantastically fine and perfect. That is one use case. Another use case is, let's say you are editing something, very big application. You are editing and you are doing some changes, but you don't want to submit that application yet, sales order. You don't want to submit it. Maybe you went to have a coffee and come back. Meanwhile, your SAP logon disconnected because of timeout, right? So these kind of issues, in order to overcome, what happens is SAP, for every single entity that is exposed, it creates a dummy draft table, same with all the fields. You don't need to do any single thing for that. So you just need to mention here OData draft enable. It will take care of all the draft functional. That is the beauty of it. Even we have it in ABAP also, draft functionality, and I love it. I even wrote a blog post on how to do draft in ABAP programming model for its old one. But in DRAP also we have draft. So there are many beautiful use cases for draft. This is one of the 2 use cases. And yeah, so you can explore about draft later on.
And how about means saving into the database means if something is already in a draft mode, right? So and another person is coming. So what will happen means to the other one? It is saying error.
For him it will give error. Yeah, for him it will give error because draft also, because of this draft functionality, they extended this draft tables to have locking mechanism, a stateless locking mechanism. Usually in SAP we have stateful locking mechanism, right? But with draft we have SAP, they even patented this. So this is a stateless locking mechanism and it's very beautiful. So yeah, he will get an error.
Yeah, within SAP as an ABAPer we are using NQ and DQ on.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, we have to still now use NQ, but they are called draft enabled NQ locks. They are new NQ locks that were created. So it's the same process, but everything is SAP automated it. It's very nice process. Now here also we'll get an error that someone is editing it, even though it's a stateless application. So now let me preview the Fury application.
And then just for interest of time, Mahesh, we are running. It's already 2 o'clock, so let's try to,
Okay, sure, man.
I think you are almost done.
Yeah, I'm done. Almost done. I don't know what the hell. Some sort of error.
It's your timeout error.
Is it?
No, I'm saying you're over time, so it is stopping you.
Okay. How much time I have, man?
You have 1 minute.
1 minute.
Okay,
fine.
2 minutes.
Yeah, fine. I think now we are done. Actually, I don't need to show anything else. Even this deployment I will not show because it will take at least 10 minutes to show. So there is no point of doing it. I don't know, man. Some sort of issue is coming. So if I have, I think I can easily do this, but by debugging, sitting and debugging, but I don't have time, right? Like Naveed said. So what I'll do is I'll just show what we have to do afterwards. There is some sort of small issue somewhere because our application is working perfectly fine right here. So we are getting licenses data. Okay. I think we lost the connection with the SAP system. Let me just. I don't think anything else.
Check in your destination test connection. Is it working or is it not working? Because you're saying your destination system is not up, right?
Some sort of thing happened. What?
Remote service is failing. So just is your remote system running? The S4HANA one?
No, it's running, but even the licenses, I think maybe some change I did is causing the issue probably. I didn't do any major changes here as such. So anyway, I think
that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. It's very small, something small, some small issue, I guess.
Because
we don't have time, let me just conclude this.
Yeah.
So what we have to do after that is, so I just need to go here and 1 second. I need to click on mta.aml and create new MTA module. So what I do is here, I create a Fiori application, right? This is one thing I'll do. Just click on next. It will create it in the app folder that is there. After that, what you do is you create the app router configuration. So this app router configuration is essential because you will create a serverless Fiori application, which will be deployed in our system here. Let me go back. Let me show you the application that I already built. So here, once I deploy the application, right? So it will come in the HTML apps here. So here I will have this application. Once I run it, it will come here. Come on, open. Okay, so this is my application that I already have built earlier. So what I do is I'll right click on this, build mta.aml, and then once here, I'll just click on deploy. So that's it. And I will share this project in GitHub and I will link it to the YouTube video that Nabeed will publish. So you can take the reference from here if in case if you want to do it. And that's it. After you saw, right, what I did is I just opened it here and it opened this application. I can search for all the data that is there. And even here also F4 help works perfectly fine. So all good. So now what we have seen is we created a custom database table in SAP Cloud Platform, Business Technology Platform. And we are consuming something from our SAP system as a F4 help. Maybe it can be something like to update our business partner, right? To activate the business partner, to add the attachment to the business partner, or XYZ things you can do. I'm just showing a very simple use case of having a integration with our S4HANA on-premise with the F4 help. And I think, yeah. So now after this, what do you have to do? There are two approaches. One is your on-premise S4HANA applications, right? Everything can be exposed to SAP Launchpad service in the cloud platform. It's also Fiori Launchpad, but it's in the cloud platform. So there you can expose all your Fiori apps from your backend system, all the catalog to the Launchpad. And there you can deploy this, you can configure this URL, right, in that Launchpad. That is one way. Or other way is you have this URL with you. You just need to set up in the on-premise cloud connector, the reverse proxy connection. It's a basis will do it. So this URL, you will put it in your Fiori Launchpad as a URL. and then it will run as a iframe inside your Fiori Launchpad. Once you click on the tile, right, inside the tile itself, it will open the Fiori application, but as an iframe. So that is how you consume the Fiori application from your cloud platform inside your Launchpad in the on-premise. These are the two ways. One is expose all these applications to the cloud, or else take the cloud application and put it inside your Fiori Launchpad. And they have to do single sign on all these things. It is a thing that Basis will do for the cloud connector. So then it will work automatically. So that's it, guys. And this is a very basic demo of how to create a side-by-side extension for a S4HANA on-premise system using CAP. It can be also, we can do it with RAP or many different use cases for this. I just showed a very small one. There's also something called enterprise messaging for you guys to explore. That's also a very interesting topic.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Mahesh, nice session. I have a small query. Can you throw some light on app router? What is its importance?
See, app router, what it does is it will route the requests that are coming from the UI file, and it will divert it to destination or XYZ. For example, I stopped, right? Let me share once my screen again. So for example, you see here, not here, here. So see what happens is here, my resources, right? Why I don't have it here? Am I checking something else? Okay. See, yeah. So I'm catching my catalog here, and then I'm diverting it to this destination, right? So this is one of the use cases. So what it does is app router will catch all this. It will be served. Our UFI application will be served in the app router. So all the requests that are coming, right? App router will catch it. And if it is UFI resources, it will send it to UFI resource. Or if it is this destination, it will divert it to the destination. It will do all these different things. So you can create your own app router, managed, that is called unmanaged app router, and you can configure all these things. You need to create a JS file, which will create a app router server, local server, and then it will catch all the URLs for you. But we are not doing that. What we are doing is we are using the managed app router by SAP. So managed app router means SAP will take care of it. So you just mentioned that access app JSON there, that's it. And then if you see here, this is for the managed app router. So you see, yeah, so when you right click on this, and I told you, right, create it, it will be automatically generated. And I am exposing this destination here. If you see my destination here, and this is a URL. This is a URL of our CAP URL. So this destination has our CAP URL. So this destination, what happens is, whenever this catalog source, right, when you see our web app, in the web app manifest.json, my OData service is just a catalog here. URI is just a catalog. So when this catalog URI is hit, so this app router will divert it to this destination. So this destination you can see right here. So that destination will nothing but is, where is it? Oh, I missed it. Where is that? mta.aml. So this destination is nothing but this URL, right? So it has many other features you can check. There is a big blog post for the usage of app router. You can just Google it. You will see what is the usage of app router.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mahesh.
And Kishore, you had a question? Kishore?
Yeah. So Mahesh, this app this app is using data from the HANA DB which you created, or is it also pulling the data from the BP service?
Yeah, exactly. So see, these are two things are happening here. One is this licenses is there, right? This is a database table we created in the HANA. Maybe I have to show my screen again.
Yeah, I just shared the screen.
Yeah, I think it's visible, right? Okay. So now this licenses is there at this entity. This entity data is coming from the database table that we created in our CAP application here. So this is a database table that we created licenses. But the other one is
value help,
value help, business partner value help. This is coming from our Bupa. So we are exposing it from our external service. So how this is coming is we connected it to our destination here. So that is how it is coming. But
So
I
this
hard-coded
custom entity, so the entity which you created with 6 fields, right? So is
Yeah.
there a way that we can create the as is entity type from the database, like from the backend service? So you have chosen 6 fields now to create a license table, right? So is there a shortcut or is there a way to create as is business partner entity type, which is part of the service in the database?
I don't know about that, but we really don't need also, right?
Yeah,
Because
if at all.
why we will replicate the data from backend? I mean, I
Talking
don't know.
about, you're talking about something like consumption model, service consumption model in app, right? Kishore?
Kind of, but not exactly like that.
He's just saying that we want to replicate the same entity database table in our HANA database, right?
Entity structure, yeah.
Yeah,
so
I don't know if it is something is there like that. I'm not sure.
But this data, these 3 records are coming from your license table which you have created, right?
Yeah, I created in HANA database, right? From there it is coming. You can also go to HANA database explorer and you can check those records there.
Okay.
So, Vishal,
but the service, the service you are exposing, right? I mean, you are using that read call, right? Where are the 11 records which you are coming from the service? Are you not showing those 11 records?
Oh, these 11 records are only for F4
Only
help,
from
right?
the
These are not
value
11
help,
records.
okay.
There are even more,
Yeah.
but their top went, right? So that's
Yes,
why
yes,
only
yes.
11 records are coming.
Only for the value help you used it. Okay.
Yeah, only for value help. You can also create a new entity here. Like, for example, let's say customer says, I have additional another table you have to update in the business partner. Right, so then you can create a business partner new application here and expose, and you can do all that stuff.
Okay.
Like we have that weird requirements from customers.
And for the package JSON, we don't have any graphical interface right now, right? It's always the JSON you have to handle.
They are, drastically implementing new features. So maybe there is something that they have implemented, or maybe there is not.
Yeah.
But I'm sure in future we might get something.
But
it is not there.
Kishore, for JSON, there are JSON viewers, right? Online, you can copy.
No. The problem is, see, under which node we have to keep this. Say your credentials destinations have added. So we have to know under which node, under CDS, we have to add this. So this is sometimes quite confusing.
Yeah, that's also confusing even in UFI development. Same.
Yeah,
way.
UFI development also it's confusing.
It might get better.
JSON and all.
Yeah, manifest JSON, correct. It might get better, but I thought if it is about just viewing it in a better way, then definitely those online viewers help us. Anyways, so
in case we can also get from here credentials and all, we can find it.
Yeah, that is there, but
go to the documentation.
That is also not very straightforward.
Yeah. Vishal, you had a question, Vishal.
Sorry, what I am saying, see, this application is connected to the S4 on-premise. That got so far. Can you hear me?
Vishal, there is a lot of echo, not clear. We cannot hear you clearly.
Okay. What I was saying basically, this application is currently connected to the S4 OP system, right? And then you can have multi-tenancy achieved via the client side, over there. But let's say it was an independent product development sort of scenario where our app has to support multiple clients. So if you simply deploy this to the cloud foundry, it will be maybe accessible to only one tenant, right? How do we segregate the data for the multiple clients?
It's not audible properly. And multi-tenancy and all, maybe for different clients, right? We have to use multi-tenancy. That is separate topic altogether. I am not aware about it much. And also I didn't understand a lot of things that you were saying because there is some disturbance.
Okay, just a second. I will connect that.
Maybe we shall do one thing in the interest of time. You just message me the question. I'll pass it over to Mahesh. Sorry?
I should be audible now?
Yeah, it is better. Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying, so over here the backend was S4OP, and if we have to, let's say, segregate multiple clients, let's say we are doing product development, then we can very well segregate via the client field, our data, so that there is no discrepancy, like in typical app world. But when it comes to purely cloud native app, without OP, and if we deploy it to Cloud Foundry, and if we give the access of our app to a single, to multiple clients, then they will all be accessing the same data, right? How do we segregate that? How is multi-tenancy going to be achieved in a purely cloud native app?
You're talking about if you have different clients in the SAP system, and one person has to access from
as long as you are doing it for a single client, let's say Walmart, that's fine. But let's say you're doing product development, what I hope SAP would be doing, right? Then how are they able to support multiple clients?
Yeah, they have this concept of multi-tenancy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm not. I don't even know.
Yeah, because in the other RAP based programming, there SAP has introduced this good old client even into the RAP. Yeah, so there we are able to achieve this, but I'm not sure how will we be doing the same with the Capcom.
Here also I have recently saw a blog post. It's very straightforward. It seems from Marius or someone posted it. Nabit is saying something.
Yeah. I just posted one blog post, and because HANA also, because if you're developing a typical cloud native application as a HANA database, it has a concept of something called as HDI containers. So those are for different clients that generate those containers. So maybe those are called as 10 and because I'm not an expert in
container is something which when we are deploying, we say, okay, this is the container which you can create, right? So we'll be creating only one container, right? It's just a schema, so to say, right? So again, what I'm saying is the data segregation.
That is what will be. You just check the blog post which I've said. That is keeping the layer. There are separate layers of data segregations for different clients. So just check this, because I will be the wrong person to explain it, because I just have a very high level idea on this HDI and all that stuff. Just check this out. It is based on your multi-tenancy only. Okay?
Fine.
Good. Yeah. Any other thing? Okay, I think Mahesh, anything else, or we are good to close?
That's it from my side, guys.
Okay, I think today we had a great session and a great participation. A great session by Shyam and followed by Mahesh. I think thanks to you guys. Well done. And similarly, a great participation from everyone. So thank you so much. And next 3 months we'll talk about RAP and IRP. उसको भी IRAP बोलने वाला था, I was supposed to say, but okay. So we'll have 2 sessions, IRPA and RAP. I would request everyone to come forward and nominate if you're interested in speaking about it, right? And that's it. And plus, we have a good Fury Element course going on, along with data also. I think this one, data science related course on OpenSAP, so you can go and check it out. Thank you. Thanks everyone for the participation. Keep sharing, keep learning. Stay safe, man, and bye-bye. I'll close out.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Navi. Thank you, Mahesh.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mahesh. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye.